Hello everybody, it's Alex Goddard here and welcome back to a brand new Doctor Who video. Now as you know, I recently uploaded a video of 5 things that I'm most excited for Doctor Who Series 11, and in that video I spoke about my honest positive feelings about Series 11 because I really want this series to prove me wrong. However, today that all changes. Like with every other series of Doctor Who, you have your hopes and you have your worries, and I think it's important to be skeptical about Series 11 because not everyone is feeling 100% positive that Series 11 is going to succeed this year. Series 11 must win the fans over because if it doesn't, then fans from around the world will lose their favourite show of all time, and I don't think Doctor Who really want to lose their loyal fan base now, do they? And so without further ado, here are just 5 things that I'm most worried for Doctor Who Series 11. Number 1. Jodie Whittaker. Now believe me, I have nothing against Jodie Whittaker. I think she'll be great in this series. I really want her to succeed. However, just because this new Doctor is a woman, that does not mean that I can't be skeptical. Doesn't mean I give her a free pass just because she's a woman. When it comes to every brand new Doctor in the new series, I've been skeptical about each and every one of them. I was skeptical about my favourite Doctor, Peter Capaldi, and look how he turned out to be. The same went with Matt Smith and David Tennant, and they turned out to be amazing Doctors. So just because I am skeptical about the new Doctor, that has got nothing to do with the gender thing, but the reasons why I'm actually skeptical of her is because I haven't seen her in many acting roles at all. I haven't seen Broadchurch apart from the one odd episode, as well as she was in an episode of Black Mirror as well. Based on what I've seen of her in other roles and the stuff that we got in the teaser and the trailer, there's not much to go on. I completely felt the exact same way as with the other Doctors. At the end of the day, you've got to put it this way. She's playing the Doctor. That's the main character of this show. If you fuck up that character, then you automatically fuck up the whole show. And the blame will be on Chris Chibnall as well as on Jodie Whittaker. It's natural to be slightly skeptical about these things. I'm not sat here thinking, yes, I hope she fucking fails. I'm really not. I hope she smashes it big time. But Jodie Whittaker has one chance to win the fans over. And if she doesn't do that, then she could lose Doctor Who's entire fan base through just one episode. And it could be fatal. Number 2. Chris Chibnall. Now, I think this is a lot more fair, considering that we haven't seen Jodie Whittaker in the show yet, whereas with Chris Chibnall, we've seen what he has done on Doctor Who before, as well as County Torchwood, I guess. The thing is, when Moffat took over in 2010, it made sense. He was easily the best writer on the show. However, during his time as the showrunner, he wrote some of the most pathetic and dreadful pieces of shit that I've ever seen. However, he was still the best writer because no one stood out as a fantastic writer during Moffat's time on Doctor Who. I mean, Moffat wrote The 11th Hour, Day of the Doctor, Heaven Sent, but also did terrible shit stories like Hell Bent, The Wedding of River Song, or Death in Heaven. So basically, when Stephen Moffat decided to go, they had to find someone who could take over and do the job justice. I mean, do you get somebody new and risk it, or do you have someone who has written for the show before but knows how to run a show? And so they went with Chris Chibnall. But the problem is, Chris Chibnall's scripts for Doctor Who have been incredibly dull and sometimes watchable. For instance, I really like Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. Nothing too special about this one, I just find it enjoyable to watch. However, the rest of them just feel weak. I mean, on the flip side, you could have Stephen Moffat, who was a great writer on the show, take over it and then ruin the whole show. Or you have someone who wasn't actually that great but could end up making the show even better than it was before. I don't know, but I think it's fair because you can say that he did really well with Broadchurch. Totally different show. If you mess up Broadchurch, big deal. If you take over Doctor Who and fuck it up, then you completely fuck up yourself and destroy the whole Doctor Who universe. Chris Chibnall must win the fans over because if he gets the formula wrong, or he writes boring stories, or he tries the Broadchurch approach with interconnecting stories leading to one big disappointment, it won't work. But now since he's the head showrunner, I'm hoping that he can have a look at what Moffat did and try to correct those mistakes that Moffat made. Simplify it, lower the stakes, go back to basics and write Doctor Who the way he should do. Number 3. Cliffhangers. Now obviously I mentioned this in the last video that there aren't going to be any two-parters in Series 11. They're all going to be individual stories. Although I did say that was a good thing, But the thing that makes Doctor Who so iconic and scary are the cliffhangers. And since they're all individual stories, cliffhangers won't be featured in Series 11. And unfortunately, that is a worry for me. Doctor Who needs cliffhangers. Plain and simple. The fact that this is just a series with individual stories really worries me, but excites me a bit at the same time, because Doctor Who was built on those cliffhangers. The classic series was most famous for its unique and creative cliffhangers at the end of each episode. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of two-parters. They also come with really good cliffhangers, and for me, individual stories are good in their own way. However, Doctor Who is supposed to be scary. A lot of those scares though come from cliffhangers. They come from the tension and the suspension that you get from those cliffhangers. You're on the edge of your seat for a whole week thinking, oh my god, how's the Doctor and friends going to get out of this situation? Now we're not going to have that. We're going to just land somewhere in time and space, get involved with the story, wrap all of the loose ends, the adventure's over now, bye, see you next week. It reminds me of a shit version of Scooby-Doo, and I would have gone away with it too if it weren't for those meddling companions and that Doctor. Oh gosh, I do miss Scooby-Doo. It's one of my favourites, but still Scooby-Doo executed some brilliant cliffhangers back in the day, so why can't Doctor Who have cliffhangers anymore? I mean, what I love about Doctor Who is the fact that you look at those cliffhangers and think, fuck, what are they going to do? And you have an entire week to process it. Now don't forget, I want individual stories with interesting and scary cliffhangers in Series 11, and if it doesn't work, go back to the same format that was used throughout Russell T Davies' era. Couple of standalone episodes, then you have a two-parter. It'll be fascinating on how Chris Chibnall goes about this new format of individual stories and see whether it can deliver without cliffhangers, but I doubt it would work though. Number 4. No returning monsters or villains. Now unfortunately it has been confirmed that there won't be any old monsters or villains returning to Doctor Who this year. In the last video I did say that I was happy to have no Daleks for Series 11 because it would be more beneficial for us and the Daleks to have a temporal break from Doctor Who. On the other hand though, I did a video of what possible monsters or villains that could return to Doctor Who, which I'll leave the link in the description for you all to check out yourself. All of the monsters and villains are all going to be brand new, and although that is a great thing, but monsters like the Autons, the Sea Devils, Omega, the Sontarans, the Rutans, the Weaving Angels, those monsters have to wait even longer for a return. It's been 6 years ago since the Weeping Angels made their final full appearance. The same goes with the Autons. These monsters deserve better, and yes, I love to find out new monsters, but it's important not to forget that other forgotten monsters must be given a chance for a return call to Doctor Who. Everyone loves a returning monster in every new series of Doctor Who. I hope Chris Chibnall has made the right decision in going all out on brand new monsters. I just want these monsters to work, otherwise they'll be thrown into the dead wood sector of Doctor Who's monsters and villains. And finally, number 5, the response from Doctor Who fans. Now this might seem like a weird one, but I'm genuinely worried of how this series of Doctor Who is going to be received. But hang on, surely it only matters what your opinion is, and I completely stand by that. Sometimes if you like or dislike something, then other people completely disagree with you. That's fine. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions, and I fully respect your views. But what I mean is the shitstorm and the response, because I'm not saying that it definitely will happen, but there's a chance that this series of Doctor Who won't be any good. You just know that there'll be people on Twitter writing articles, the BBC themselves, and they'll say, well, the reason why people didn't like Doctor Who this year is because they're sexist twats. And that's really gonna piss me off, because I don't want this series to go the wrong way. I love Doctor Who. This is the reason why you're watching this video right now. It's because I care. I'm fully committed to Doctor Who. However, not every episode or story or series is above criticism. Not every single thing in Doctor Who is absolute perfection, and that's not going to change now just because the new lead is a woman. This is something that worries me from the perspective of a normal viewer, and I'm always honest to share my feelings. This is my favourite show, and I want this to work. But I can guarantee you that this series is going to be the most overhyped series of Doctor Who ever. There's no sort of middle ground to it, which means that this series' expectations are extremely high. I can't see how it can deliver. All of these things worry me, because I know we have a brand new production team, a new Doctor, a new showrunner. But at the same time, I don't want this show to get cancelled. It's like for the past few series of Doctor Who has been slowly dying and decaying. And if this series is not good enough, then it could be the end for Doctor Who forever, which no one wants that. I'm excited, but also worried. There's a lot at stake here. And so Chris Chibnall needs to make this year something special to keep Doctor Who alive. It's a make or break for Doctor Who Series 11. And that's all I've got time for. Don't forget to comment down below what 5 things are you most worried for Doctor Who Series 11. Please like this video, share and subscribe for more Doctor Who content. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time for another Doctor Who Series 11 video. Until then, take care of yourselves and I'll see you later. Goodbye!